We are talking to Rivals.com's Adam Friedman, the National Recruiting Analyst and Rankings Director. And this voice might sound somewhat familiar too to Wolfpack fans, as well as the setting of this video. This is JC Zumbo of the newly created the Wolfpack Central from NC State Rivals, and we're talking some recruiting. Specifically, the best recruit at the beginning, MJ Morris, quarterback from Georgia. What do you think of him, Adam?
Yeah, he's done a great job this season. He's really putting up a lot of great numbers. He's really done a good job with his feet and creating some big plays there. I like what he's going to be able to do at the college level with that arm talent and with his playmaking abilities. As soon as he's able to really dive into that playbook and get up to the speed with really the speed of the college game, I think some big things are in store there. I really expect MJ to do a great job at NC State.
And there's been a lot of buzz about linebacker Torrin Wright from Kannapolis, North Carolina, four-star recruit. What do you like about his future?
Yeah, he really checks all the boxes from a physical standpoint. His measurables really fit the bill for what NC State wants to do with the linebacker position. I'm excited to see how he develops once he's in the program. NC State, really known as the developmental program, they've done a great job with guys who have been in the system for 2, 3, 4 years. And I expect Torrin to take advantage of what the strength and conditioning staff are able to offer, and he'll turn into one of those linebackers that NC State has become known for, really.
Running back Michael Allen from Rose High in Greenville, North Carolina, eastern part of the state, three-star recruit. He's been playing some running back. He plays a little bit in the slot. Is he kind of that versatile, do a little bit of everything back?
Yeah, definitely. He's a guy, once you get the ball in his hands, he's going to be able to make some plays. He's not the biggest guy, so you're going to have to get him in space a bit, but he's an explosive player who I expect to really fit into what NC State likes to do with some of those all-purpose backs, and he'll really shine. He's had a little bit of a tough time showing that this season at the high school level because teams are really keying on him, but once he's on the college field and teams can't really double team him and spy him as much, I expect him to do some really great things.
The next two recruits are legacy recruits. There's been a lot of Crowells coming through in the football world between their father and sons. Isaiah Crowell is the latest at East Forsyth High in Kernersville, North Carolina. What do you think of the young defensive back?
Yeah, he's a really good player, high football IQ, some really good ball skills for a defensive back, pretty rangy as well. Brings an element of physicality as well to the secondary. I'm excited to see how he handles the speed of the college game and really understands how he needs to make quick decisions and read and react a bit faster. So all the tools are there. It's just a matter of everything between the ears clicking.
Then the next legacy recruit is Rylan Vann, who is projected as a center, could also maybe play defensive end from Cary High nearby. A player that the Wolfpack Central has seen in the last week and a half. He is the younger brother of Dejuan Vann, who is at NC State.
Yeah, very physical lineman. I expect him to really kind of shake some things up on the practice field to start off with. He's going to have to show some physical development before he's really an impact player on the field. But I expect him to, again, with that developmental theme here, really develop inside the program and shine later on in his career.
Dejuan Thompson, who's from Whiteville, North Carolina, in the, I guess you would call it the southeast corner, southeast corner of the state. Whiteville is not always known for football, but they have produced future NBA player Chris Wilcox, former NC State player Sean Kirk in basketball. How is young Dejuan Thompson as a linebacker prospect or athlete type?
Believe it or not, I have been to Whiteville over the years. I'm a fan of Dejuan and what he brings to the field. He's really an intriguing prospect, somebody with a very high ceiling, certainly has the measurables to be a successful college player. It's going to be interesting to see how he develops inside the program, bringing his talents to the defensive side, I think. Kind of turning into a linebacker or maybe an edge linebacker type. But physical player, has a good nose for the ball, and is a big hitter. I like the way he arrives at the ball carrier with a thud. So keep an eye on Dejuan over the next couple of years.
Another athletic family is the Vick family.
Yeah.
So Jackson Vick, who's playing mostly running back for Southern Nash in Bailey, North Carolina, home of Zonovan Knight, current NC State running back. And his younger brother, Jordan Vick, is a 2024 point guard to watch. So we'll be hearing a lot about the Vick brothers probably over the next few years. But what do you like Jackson, who maybe projects as a defensive back?
Yeah, like a kind of a Swiss Army knife type of guy. He could play in this. He could cover in the slot. He could play safety. He could be in the box. Brings a physical element to the secondary, playmaking element to the secondary. Has a good nose for the ball, and just really understands what the offense is trying to do most of the time, and just finds himself in the right place. So isn't going to blow you away with his measurables or his speed, but he can cover some ground. He's got good enough size to be able to match up with some of those guys he's going to see on the offensive side of the ball. Just another player who's going to be in the program for a year or two and then show up on the field making some plays.
And then Terrell Timmons, who the Wolfpack Central got to see this past Friday night against Greensboro Grimsley in a big game, Northern Guilford, Greensboro Grimsley. Everyone talks about his speed at wide receiver.
Yeah, the speed is really the name of his game. He doesn't really have the size that you would expect for a college receiver, but I'm excited to see what he's able to do when he gets the ball in his hands at the college level. Don't be surprised if you see him on special teams. Don't be surprised if you see him coming out of the slot on screen plays, and then also taking the top off of defenses coming down the seam. I expect him to have some really explosive plays over his NC State career once he's able to get on the field.
This was expected as an overview to be a smaller class. There's 12 commits. It's ranked 49th in the country by Rivals.com. Nowadays it's a different ball game because you might want to have a few scholarships for guys in the transfer portal. The portal was very kind to this year's NC State squad. But as an overview, do you see what this class could possibly get done in Raleigh?
Yeah, definitely some really key pieces here on the offensive side and the defensive side. I have been stressing development, and that's what NC State is known for over the last few years. They haven't always pulled in top recruits, but seem to churn out some really solid players for the NFL because of what they've been able to do on the strength and conditioning side. So that's good. Things are still going to trend that way, but you can see what this team has done on this season with what they did on the transfer portal. That's going to play a key role down the road. We're going to see an explosion of players in the transfer portal over the next month or so as we get towards the end of the season. And NC State would be smart to continue to dip their toe into that pool and grab some players.
And then just looking ahead to the future, a lot of local people have been enamored with the play of Noah Rogers, junior wide receiver at Roseville. He's currently ranked 180th in the country, 27th at his position by Rivals.com, number 2 player in the state. But, words like potential pro have been tossed around with this young receiver. I know you have fresh, up-to-date info on him. How good can he possibly be, and how intense will this recruitment be over the next year?
His recruitment is intense already, and it's going to get more intense. I'm a big fan of Noah, seeing him very recently. He's at least 6'2", maybe 6'3 plus, closer to maybe 6'3 and a half if you take into account how big his hair is right now. He plays like a 6'3 plus receiver, being able to go up and get those jump balls. He's got great length in his arms. He plays with some solid base. He's a very strong receiver, but you can also see on these punt returns and on some of these shorter passes that he's able to take for big gains. He plays somewhat like a smaller receiver at times because he's kind of like a human joystick out there sometimes. That's a really impressive element for a taller receiver to bring to the field. Like you said, 180th in the country right now in the 23 class. Would not be surprised to see that ranking go up significantly over the rest of his high school career.
And then another 2023 prospect that has put out a top list, and NC State is on that list, and he's come to affect different things, games, whatever. Sampson Jr., New Bern High in the eastern part of the state, listed at 6'3", 285, number 250 in the country, number 10 at defensive tackle. Good burst off the line, and obviously this is a state that is known for its defensive linemen.
Yeah, big fan of Sampson. I'm looking forward to getting more evaluation opportunities for him. Still not a ton known about how great his upside can be. Very good high school player, though. Shows a lot of energy coming off the line. I'm looking forward to seeing how his body has developed over the years and throughout the rest of his high school career. He's obviously a sought-after defensive lineman early in the process with this impressive short list that he's already put together. But somebody who I think could really see a big boost in his ranking as long as he continues to develop his hand techniques, his body, and can really show that he's really just not beating up on these the high school competition in his area, and can show that he can match up well with some of the more Power 5 prospects that he can come across come later this season in the playoffs and also in the camp season this coming spring.
And then lastly, for the Wolfpack Central's neat video that we're doing with Adam Friedman, when you look nationally, how much havoc has COVID played in evaluating high school football players? Not so much for you, but you think for college coaches, more specifically the class of 2023, 2024.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue at this point has been getting proper evaluations on players over the last 2 years or so. Not being able to host the 2022 class, or excuse me, the 21 class during the pandemic's extended recruiting dead period. That was a major issue for colleges and for players. And then the rule that the NCAA just passed recently, giving the waiver to current college players for that extra year. That is really creating a lot of problems for roster management at the college level, and we're seeing that trickle down to the high school level, where no-brainer Power 5 kids are ending up having to go to the Group of 5 ranks because there just aren't the spots at the Power 5 level, and then and so on and so forth, with the Group of 5 no-brainer prospects heading to FCS and then continuing to trickle down from there. So it's going to be a very difficult area to navigate over the next, really, the 2-3 years from now, as those extra pandemic years wear off at the college level.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you, Jason.